I've got an exciting broadcast for you today. Now, I know I tell you that all the time, but truthfully, I've got an exciting broadcast for you today. We've got the NADA, National Automobile Dealers Association's annual convention coming up this week, Thursday. And some of my favorite people in the world are going to be there. I couldn't get them, but I did get the SearchLab people today. No.
That needs a rim shot. Hold on.
Anyway, I've got the core substance of SearchLab on today, starting with Dane Saville. Hello, Dane.
Hey, Jim. How you doing?
I'm having the best day of my entire life. I'm excited. And direct from Bali, oh, he's back.
I got a Bali shirt on today, even.
Wait, let's see that again.
It's say Bintang, the beer in Bali.
Bintang. Okay, that's not okay. I was thinking something else. Okay, and the brains of the operation, my friend Mark Irvine. Hello, Mark.
Hey, how's it going, Jim?
First of all, Greg, is SEO dead?
Oh, heck no.
Okay.
It's more alive than ever. Especially, it's even more important for dealers. It's crazy. There's quite a few dealers that are saying that, hey, we're in a recession. Let's drop our marketing spend. And they stop doing paid search. They stop doing SEO. Really bad call because, yeah, it is a recession. And you have to fight for every bit of business that you could get. And if you're not showing up in local searches, you're not getting that business. So
guess what, Greg? We're competitive again. I saw Linda Beaver and the bow tie guy on TV in my town this week advertising huge discounts, talking about low interest rates. I mean, we're talking about competing for the business. The bow tie guy, we have inventory coming out the ears. We got to unload inventory reduction sale. Come on.
Yep. Well, I mean, we went from the COVID inventory shortage and dealers making money hand over fist, not having to sell at all. Like they all forgot. I mean, not all, but a lot of them forgot how to sell and forgot about customer service because they didn't have to worry about it. And now inventory's back. And not only is inventory way back, demand is way down because of the recession. So all of a sudden, everybody's got to get back to really knowing how to sell and really knowing how to treat customers right. But all of that is still based on our customers finding you in the first place. So if you're not doing any digital marketing, you're not going to get found and your competitors are going to be selling all the cars.
Well, Dane, one thing that we got to understand is the people that frequently buy cars, people that buy cars with a lot more frequency, we laid them away at 20,000 over sticker. They're not coming back for anytime soon. We have to conquest some new customers. What do you think?
Yeah, to Greg's point, you want to be found where demand exists. And as that demand shrinks, it gets a lot more important to make sure you're surfacing your inventory, your services for that demand that is there. You don't want to yield to your competitors. You want to make sure you have the strategies in place that are going to outperform your competitors. So drawing back on important strategies like SEO and PPC, if you're a dealer and you're saying I'm competitive, right? You have that nature within you. Well, you're yielding that to other players in the market. So you got to keep at it. You can't just lay down.
We got some record attendance for the NADA annual convention coming up, and you guys are going to be there. Is that right? Mark Irvine, are you going to be there?
Yeah, no, I'm packing right now. Currently, any excuse to get out of frigid Boston weather is a great excuse. I'm hearing that's not much warmer in Dallas, but I'm sure the three of us can make it hot.
Well, let me ask you, you live in Boston.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Oh, we're both sorry.
Okay, people are asking a question here. Okay, there you go. Tony DeTanto. I know Tony. But I'll tell you what, you guys are going to be when you go to NADA, you could be walking around with suitcases. Where are you going to be at NADA? Are you? Are you just
We got a
attending?
booth. We got a 20 by 20. We're gonna have a ton of people there.
No,
even
wait
cooler.
a minute. 20. You got a 20 by 20. You haven't got one of those little 10 by 10 booths in the corner.
No. We got too much going on to have a little small booth. So we got a 20 by 20, and one section of it, we actually have kind of a classroom setup. And I'm going to be doing an SEO presentation a couple of times on Saturday, or a couple times on Friday, a couple times on Saturday. Mark's going to be doing a paid search a couple times on Friday, a couple times on Saturday, because apparently I heard through the grapevine I might have pissed off some people at NADA last year because I talked about how the vendor approved or the OEM approved vendor system is not in a dealership's best interest. And since I wasn't towing the line that everybody should tow and say, hey, this stuff's great, and I told them not to do it because it sucked, I didn't get to speak this year. So, hey, it doesn't mean I'm not speaking.
I'm friends with Mike Stanton, the president of NADA. I can probably smooth some of that over for you. I mean,
that would be awesome.
I would say that in a heartbeat.
Yep.
I mean, you gotta say what's in your heart. Did you catch my broadcast this week when I told Brett Sutherland he was arrogant and self-centered?
Man, I just saw that last night on Facebook, and I'm dying to go back and watch that episode to see how that whole conversation went.
You got to watch that. It was the most viewed broadcast of the Dog Pound we ever did. You got to watch it. If you don't watch anything else.
I plan on watching. I got it.
I was all over him like a dog on a pork chop.
No pun intended.
Oh, there you go. Well, let me ask you. You guys are speaking. Mark, are you speaking?
Yep, I have the pleasure following up Greg both on Friday and Saturday. Greg, what's your presentation on?
Mine's about SEO and Google Business Profiles.
And I have the pleasure of talking about. I have the pleasure of following that up with some tricks and hacks that every auto dealer should know about PPC.
Well, who's going to have the best speech?
I mean, that's going to be a tough one.
It depends on what the dealer's goals
maybe
are.
we make it a pitch off and see who's the best.
I generally find they do better after a couple of drinks, so it could just improve the evening.
Controversy here, where you know, if Dane was one of the speakers here, it would be a lot of challenges and be on the top of the ring ropes.
I just might have Jim. I might have to be their hype guy, don the Macho Man cape, and get out the sequins and get people hyped for these guys.
Epic! You got to bring them, dude.
That would be embarrassing. Honestly, that would be embarrassing if we were wearing the same thing, though.
Oh, amazing! What is absolutely?
Also, I'm participating in the vendor pitch competition that they're doing for the first time this year. So at 10 o'clock on Friday. Have you heard about this?
No, tell me about it.
So I think they're copying it from what Digital Dealer did in Vegas, because Digital Dealer in Vegas a few months back did a DVX session, which stands for Dealer Vendor Exchange. And they picked 25 vendors that got to get up on the main keynote stage, and they had 1 minute to pitch their product. And that was it. And it went over really well because it let a lot of dealers get exposed to 25 different vendors. And they were also careful about, like, they didn't have two SEO vendors on the stage at the same time. So they split everybody up. So everybody got to hear a quick pitch. And then, that kind of drove more booth traffic. So it was a really cool thing for dealers because they got more exposure to more vendors without having to go to the booth and commit to a conversation. And it was great for the vendors because it drove more foot traffic to all of our booths. So NADA is doing something similar. I don't know if they're copying it on purpose or not, but at 10 o'clock, it's either at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock on Friday on their live stage. They're doing this event. It's a pitch competition. So I don't know how many vendors are in it, but I'm one of the vendors that got into it. So I get 2 minutes on that live stage to do a pitch.
So they're not mad at you.
Services. Do what?
They're not mad at you. They love you.
Well, I mean, I got in on that at least. Who knows? But so everybody gets their 2 minute pitch, and then they'll choose a winner. And I don't know. Do what?
I said the fact you paid a fortune for the booth had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, probably not at all. But so everybody does their pitches. I don't know what the number is, but it's in that hour time slot on Friday. And then I don't know if it's audience selection or NADA staff selection, but they will pick a winner of whichever vendor did the best pitch. and that vendor gets 30 minutes on stage on Saturday to talk to the crowd. So maybe
Oh,
I'll be on the stage on
but
Saturday
a
if I win that.
a lot of pressure, a lot of pressure. You got to win this thing. Bealin will beat you till you bleed if you don't win that thing.
Well, I mean, come on, you know me, and it's going to be a bunch of other either execs or sales guys just doing a straight up sales pitch. I'm going to get up there. I'm going to go fast. It's going to be fun. I'm going to tell bad jokes. I'll probably drop an F-bomb or two. I feel like I got a pretty good chance of winning.
You do. I mean, in case you don't know it, viewers, my friend Greg Gifford is one of, if not the foremost SEO expert in the world, the known universe. If they do SEO on Mars, he's got the title. So I'm telling you right now, this guy is really, and not only that, but if you go to the right here on the screen, you got Mark Irvine, recognized by Microsoft as the paid PPC click expert in the world.
There we go. So I can't win anything on Mars, but I've got the world on lock.
You got the world unlocked. Okay, you haven't competed on Mars yet.
Not yet. Give me a couple years there.
And Dane Saville is the guy you can talk to who can explain everything they do.
Well, I don't know if I explain everything that Mark does, but or Greg, but I try to do my best to distill the things that I can and communicate in the ways that I can on a variety of different topics. But yeah, no, it's great to learn from both of these guys and the different aspects of everything that they do and duly earn those recognitions. So
now you're speaking at the booth, is that right, Greg?
Yep, we've got a little kind of classroom set up in the back half. So like the front half where the main kind of traffic is going to go is all the normal booth stuff. And in the back half, we've got a little classroom and a big screen TV, and that's where we'll be doing the presentations.
So you got a big screen TV, and you'll be able to project onto the TV?
Yep.
Fantastic. You guys are so high tech. I am absolutely loving it. So
yeah, we're going to have a magician at the booth too.
What?
We're going to have a magician at the booth doing magic tricks because our whole kind of marketing message this year is that digital marketing isn't magic, it's science. So we're going to have a magician doing tricks to kind of entertain people as they walk by and grab more people to come to the booth. It should be fun.
Rabbit. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So a magician at the booth, no booth babes.
No, come on, booth babes. That doesn't really fly in today's world too well.
Oh, come on. Maybe Bobby Heron, Jennifer Briggs would volunteer.
Oh yeah. Hopefully they're going to come to the booth anyway. If y'all are watching, you better come by because I haven't seen either of y'all in forever. But yeah, like
well, that was me joking because both of them are very much into feminine causes, women in automotive, and most women would be offended if I said that, but that we know I'm joking.
Yeah, for sure.
and Mark, when are you speaking?
I mean, well, I'm the booth babe, so I of course follow up everything.
Okay, so you're going to be
Greg's doing.
Yeah, I've already dusted off your phone.
Digital marketing after dark is my new topic. No, but I'm speaking immediately after Greg. So I'm speaking both on Friday and on Saturday, and I've got the pleasure, of course, when I'm in between my shifts, I'm at the booth as well. So effectively, I'll never stop talking.
Fantastic. So you're actually speaking on the big stage in one of the workshops, correct?
Nope, it is in a small, intimate, and exclusive session that you're only going to get booth 5.
That's what I was getting at. It's a small, you're going to have some time to answer questions. You're going to be individually working with the people who are in the booth that need answers to some questions they've probably been thinking about asking. All marketing today is SEO, SEM. Google is the answer. Dane, what should people get out of this experience?
Well, when I think about it is, with the experience of NAD and what we're doing at the booth, For anyone who ever went to college, you sat in one of those big halls where there's 350 people and you have a professor up there versus you have a nice intimate classroom where there's 10 of you, 15 of you, 20 of you, where you have more of that one-to-one interaction, where you get more of those live responses, where you get more of a conversation, more of a dialogue, more of a back and forth. What are you going to get more value out of? Being one of 350 or being one of 15 or 20? So the experience is going to be you're going to be hearing a lot of these valuable insights from two of the best in the world, and then you're going to continue to be able to continue that conversation at the booth to see how those insights can apply to what your dealership is currently doing. So it's not just learning, then you have the opportunity then to see how you stack up, see how you're applying those best practices.
Intimate sessions. I'm sure you got limited seating, and they can go in advance and reserve their seat.
Yep.
Because I think you're going to sell out.
We don't have that many seats left already. So yeah, I just sent you in the chat the link if you want to put it down there on the bottom. But yeah, we can. Anybody can go to the page, and there's a link to reserve a seat for either my sessions or Mark's sessions. And that way, if you've got a reservation, you're guaranteed to get a chair and not have to stand up for the whole thing.
Okay, where can they go to find the link?
That's I just put it in the chat if you want to paste it in, but it's just searchlabdigital.com/NADA 2023.
Okay, I don't type that fast. Okay. Search Lab. Yeah, I should have took typing in school. Digital. / what?
NADA 2023. And Steven, while he's typing, no, I'm not talking about GA4 because GA4 is the biggest train wreck ever. And all you need to do is make sure you got it up running and recording data, but you shouldn't be using it yet. And don't listen to any of the people that tell you should, because it's train wreck.
Okay.
Actually, Jim, that link, the NADA has to be lowercase or it won't work, I don't think. Let me see. I don't know, actually.
Really?
No, it works either way. You're fine. Yeah,
okay, that's going to confuse people because NADA is usually expressed in all caps. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't set it up, so I wasn't sure how it was set up. But yeah, it works either way.
Okay, so Stephen Stassi on the sidebar, you're going to touch on setting up GA4 for dealers, and you just answered that question.
Yep.
So you say it's a total train wreck. Don't even look at it.
Yeah, it's not. GA4 is bad. You know how it is. All the vendors want to jump on the next shiny thing and be the first person to talk about the big new thing. And dealers are all about squirrel. Like whatever the new thing is, dealers want it. And they want to have something their competitors don't have. Or if they find out that a competitor has something, they got to have it too. So everybody's buzzing about GA4. But honestly, GA4 is a train wreck. It is still in beta. It is not ready to be used by the public. What dealers need to do is use the regular Google Analytics setup wizard to make sure that GA4 is at least running on your site so it's collecting historical data. Supposedly, current analytics will stop working on June 30th of this year. I am not a betting man, but if I was, I would put $1 million on the fact that Google's going to extend that date out because GA4 is not ready for public consumption yet, and nobody has it running on their sites. And the two aren't cross-compatible. So as soon as current analytics stops working, that data doesn't show up in GA4. GA4 starts from the date that you have GA4 on your site collecting data. So if you don't have it on there right now and you're watching this, go get it on there because you're only going to have historic data up to today. You won't have the past 5-10 years of data. But the problem is nobody's got that running. And it's not like Google is going to be like, oh, sorry, guys, we told you. And you're a business owner that didn't pay attention to Google announcements on Twitter, so you're screwed. So, of course, they're going to extend it because it is the biggest train wreck of anything Google's ever done. And Google's done a lot of train wrecks.
Oh, boy. Well, anyway, first of all,
users are right. It does need to be set up. All that means is you need to have the code on your site so that it's collecting data. You don't need to go in and customize the interface, create your own reports, because in current analytics, a lot of reports are already set up. In GA4, you have to build them out yourself. The problem is one vendor is going to build it different from another vendor. And until there's any sort of universal agreement on here's how things should be, or more likely, Google's going to roll out those reports that are the most common and put them in there for everyone. It's pointless to go in and spend hours and hours and hours trying to set it up and use it. If you really want to, great, knock yourself out. But there's zero advantage other than, cool, you've got something that nobody else has, or you're one of the first people to use it. But it's not like it's going to give you better data or more data or help you sell more cars. So why waste time on that now when all you need to do is the 5 minutes of work to have that code running on your site and then be done?
Okay, well, let me ask you a question about the SearchLab Digital /NADA2023. Is that going to give you any more information other than the times for the booth?
Yep, it's got a little teaser video that lets everybody know what's going on at the booth. We actually have the magician in the video with me. He's a friend of the family. That's how we found out about him. And then it also lists out our show specials that we've got. So we got several show specials. On that page, you can schedule a demo, and there's still time to do it. You can do it up through Thursday night. If you schedule a time to come by the booth on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday and do a demo with us, and you show up and do the demo, we'll give you a $100 bill. Any dealer that ends up
$100 bill.
I forget. A $100 bill. All you have to do is lock in a time for a demo before Friday. And then that demo time could either be Friday, Saturday, or Sunday during expo hours. You show up for that demo, sit through the demo, you get $100 cash.
Oh man, you're bribing people to. I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're putting our money where our mouth is. We know dealers will be impressed if they hear what we have to say. So heck, I'll put money down on it all day long.
I think you will. Okay.
And then next cool thing, if a dealer actually signs up with us, they sign the digital paperwork to commit to working with us. Doesn't mean they have to start immediately. They might have to give 30 days notice to their current vendor. So they wouldn't start until March 1st. Doesn't matter. As long as you sign the paperwork to commit to working with us at the show, you get $500 cash. So you could get $600 cash if you do a demo at the show and then sign paperwork to work with us at the show. You get $600 cash in your pocket at the show.
Oh, fantastic. Dane, what have we not told people that is important that we get out in this broadcast? What information have we not shared?
Covered a lot of ground in a short bit of time, as you always do, Jim. I think it's just, when we talk about, the questions about GA4 and the shiny objects, I think we just want to underscore the idea that what Mark and Greg are going to be sharing are things that it's not the shiny object. It's the necessary things. They're the things that you need to have in place. Not the things that might one day work, the things that do work. So it's not the shit show, it's the real show, right? So, we want to be focused on, are the fundamentals in place? Do we have the right strategies, the right tactics firing for us to then, when things are ready for GA4 to be able to capture all that data in the right way. But until then, let's talk about the things we need to talk about that are going to make the greatest impact now for your dealership. And that's what we're going to be doing at the booth.
I was talking to a guy this afternoon that called me up. He said, Jim, you inspired me 20 years ago. You gave me a copy of your book, and I'm calling you for some advice. And this particular guy is called the Black Dragon. He's an African-American motorcycle gang guy. And it's kind of interesting because when you talk about what works right now, he was asking me questions about what would you see in the market right now. Well, right now, let me ask you a question, Mark Irvine. What works right now?
Yeah, so I think that right now is a very interesting time, particularly for digital marketing. Specifically, hey, next week you've got Google announcing their annual earnings report, Microsoft announcing their annual earnings report, or Meta announcing all of their things. It's a recession. I would not be surprised if at NADA, any of these companies might announce a shiny new thing to maybe make things look a little better than what they look like.
Mhm.
I would say this is a beautiful time as people re-examine their budgets and re-examine their marketing strategies. It's not the time to necessarily go and do something that no one's ever done before. But if you can nail the basics, if you can nail what your digital presence looks online across Google Business Profile, across Google Ads, just answer those very simple questions, you'll find that you can actually buck a trend in terms of what performance looks like
Mhm.
by not jumping on the bandwagon, by not being one of 30,000 dealers that an agency is out there managing, pushing towards the next new shiny thing, but instead making sure that you've got the core fundamentals set up so that you can scale throughout 2023.
Well, that's why Black Dragon called me today. That exact reason.
Right.
What works right now? I mean, he's going to be selling uh, to police departments training on how to deal with motorcycle gangs.
Wow.
If you can imagine. Don't cross this guy, Greg.
I wouldn't.
No,
Name like that sounds a little scary.
absolutely. So anyway, what have we not told people that we need to get out in this broadcast?
Well, I'll tell you what, Jim, there's some other cool stuff happening. So,
Dave's
right, I'm getting excited. Jim, I'm getting
wait, there's
excited.
more.
That's right. That's how you, that's a professional wrestling thing, right? You build up and then you keep bringing out new surprises. You know, if coming out of NADA, if by the end of February we have folks that sign on to do PPC, there's no setup fee for those folks. So talk to them at NADA. If they sign up by the end of the month, no PPC fee. Also, for SEO, if they sign up by the end of February, $300 off the SEO price. So not only can they walk away with money in their pockets, they're going to save money too.
Down. There's too much. You know, my head's going to explode. What do you start at? You're going to give them what?
So with PPC, if they sign up by the end of February, right? We talked to them at NAD. We have some interactions. They want to mull over it a little bit more. But if they sign to work with us by the end of February, there's no setup fee for their PPC. On the SEO side, again, we have the conversations. Talk to them. Think about it. They want to mull over it some more. But as long as they sign by the end of February, $300 off the SEO price. And while we're there at NADA, we can do audits for anyone who comes by the booth. We can audit what's going on in their strategies or tactics.
You take a look at their marketing right there at the booth.
So they can make money, they can save money, and at the very least, they have a bunch of actionable insights.
Why did we save this to last? Now, wait a second. They can come by the booth, and you will get on the computer, on the keyboard, and you will examine their current marketing strategy. You'll tell them where the holes are, what their weaknesses are, what their PPC and their SEO weaknesses are. You'll analyze all that for them at the booth. You're not going to be selling your services necessarily. I mean, you're going to tell them the information they need to make a decision. And if they're doing a great job, you'll probably tell them that.
Yeah, we want to give them a full, honest, transparent look at what's going on. So at the bare minimum, they're equipped with some actionable insights coming out of the show.
Wait a minute. There's a vendor giving you a full, transparent look. Come on. That's amazing. Greg, what have we not told people?
Geez, I mean, there's so much we've talked about. One of the cool things I'm going to talk about in my presentation is, you know, we've been on this broadcast with you before. We've talked about our little kind of free digital marketing audit that we're talking about here. So one of the things I did is I took every one that we've done in the past year. So everything we did last year, which ended up being like 642 dealerships, aggregated all that data and talked about what are the average scores? What are the things that we see most dealers are missing out on? And like Mark was talking about a couple of minutes ago, it's not about the shiny new things that you can go do. It's about, are you handling the basics that really matter? And most dealers aren't handling the basics that really matter. So it'll be cool to come by, if you can stop by and catch one of those presentations, to hear about what most dealers are actually doing when it comes to the content on their site, the links pointed at their site, their Google business profiles, and their reputation management strategies.
Oh, man. it's just too much for this old mind to comprehend. I mean, you're offering so much. They can go on the website searchlabdigital.com/NADA 2023 and all kinds of information, and they can reserve a seat for one of your presentations or all of your presentations.
Yep.
If there's any seats available, you better do it quick. You know,
And they can schedule their time for that demo slot if they want to get $100.
Oh, all right. I'm trying to think of another question before we get off that'll be of interest to the audience. You've given us so much in just a short amount of time. I think the best
We're not fooling around. We're coming to kick some ass and take some names this year.
I think the best thing we can do right now is say goodbye to the audience.